Hello, everybody out there in YouTube. We are the Middle-Aged Guys. In this particular video, we are going to be revisiting a subject that we actually talked about a few months ago. We are going to talk about the voice chat app that they're using for the Nintendo Switch and Splatoon 2. Buckle your seatbelts, folks. Let me get the introductions out of the way. I'm the Reverend.
The theme here.
And I'm Gray Mouse 1.
I gotta say, honestly, especially for the last few months, if you've paid attention to our channel and everything else, the grand majority of the videos that we happen to do that happen to deal with Nintendo or some of the issues that surround Nintendo or some of the issues that surround, I don't know, people getting anxious over getting XYZ game or peripheral or system from Nintendo or anything like that. I mean, generally speaking, it tends to be rather positive whenever we go ahead and we talk about the big N. And it's not just nostalgia, all right? However, every once in a while, you know, there's something that comes out of the Nintendo camp, something that a piece of information, news, some other sort of business decision that we learn about, you know, sometimes not as quick as other channels and things like that, that makes us go ahead and stop and really ask a question. What the hell are you thinking, Nintendo? The last time we did this, a particular video like that was when we did the video back all the way at the beginning of June, when Hori released out, it tweeted out, oh, hey, look, this is the brand new Splatoon 2 headset that's going to be used with Splatoon 2 to go ahead and enable voice chat, okay? Now, most reasonable people would probably think that, okay, you're running off of a 3.5 millimeter jack that plugs into the 3.5 millimeter jack that's on the Switch itself, which is right here, okay, on the top of the Switch, all right? Okay, and then you would use that just like you would, you know, any other standard 3.5 millimeter audio device and everything else. And then voice chat would be handled through the system, all right? And it's not like it hasn't been a part of video games, you know, and home consoles since, what, 2001? Okay? You know, and the reason why it seems it's really significant now, you know, coming to the forefront here, is that ever since the first fucking teaser videos, all right, ever since the moment that we actually knew that this device was called the Switch and not the fucking NX, okay, one of the flagship titles that they went ahead and that they pushed forward to everybody was Splatoon 2, all right? And one of the things that they really went ahead and they were trying to, from what I can gather from that initial promo video, was that, look, this is how we're going to enter into esports. This is how Nintendo is going to enter into esports. They're going to have Splatoon 2, all right? That's going to be their team-based shooter, you know, regardless of whether or not they entertain the thoughts of, you know, having any sort of MOBA or other first-person shooter if third-party developers even go that way. You know, Metroid Prime 4 is set to come out in 2018. Maybe there's going to be a versus mode like in previous other Metroid Primes. We don't know. In any case, though, if you're going to be part of a serious esports team or a serious esports organization on a competitive level, the ability to actually communicate with your teammates on a fairly consistent basis and a dependable basis is important. Okay, let's just say that right now. Okay, it's important. Now, you know, which really made us think this particular setup with the Switch and the phone and a breakout box and an extra fucking cord between your Switch and your phone and your headset and your microphone and everything all together was really fucking convoluted because guess what? It is, all right? I guess I got to say it would have been okay if it worked well. But according to the initial reports and the folks who had the chance to go ahead and test the application out, because it did release out a few days before the release of Splatoon 2, which is out now, which is doing pretty well, all things considering. All right, is the fact that the app itself doesn't do a lot for what it asks, and for what it requires. In fact, it doesn't even do what it does on a consistently even basis. So, yeah, Nintendo done fucked up on this one. All right. Before I monopolize the time anymore, guys, I'm going to open up the floor. As I said, we covered this before. All right. And we had fears. You could rewind. You can see that card up there. Just go ahead and click on it. It'll take us right to the fucking video that we laid it all out. And I got to say, I confidently, every issue that we went ahead and we brought up it's what the issues that exist in reality for this fucking app. What are your thoughts, guys?
Okay, look, Gray Mouse, you're a Switch owner, just like the Reverend here. Are you going to partake in this?
No. And just to get this off the ground real quick, is that I don't think this is going to have any effect on how or whether or not it's going to sell Switches. Zelda alone is selling Switches, and Splatoon 2 is one of those titles that people were waiting for. So I want to just nip that shit in the bud right away, that that this is not going to stop people from buying Switches. But it is a barrier. And the reason why I call it a barrier is because from the very basics of the mechanism is that it's an app. We all have smartphones nowadays. Everybody has freaking smartphones. And you know darn well when somebody calls you, whatever that app you're using drops and it goes to it. You can set up your preference or your what you want on top. So, there's been reports that when you're online, you're talking to your teammates and Joe Smo Smuckatelli comes and calls your phone. Guess what happens to the chat?
Disconnection.
It drops.
Nope.
What in the blue fuck was Nintendo thinking? Now, the problem I have is, or let me throw this question out to you guys. Let me throw this in y'all's lap. Do you think Nintendo innovated so much that they actually regressed?
Innovated? Wait a minute. Innovation goes hand in hand with shit that works.
Like, I'm talking about Nintendo, and I mean they've been doing a lot. Look, this is integration. This is crazy.
Oh, okay, wait. What I'm saying is, if the shit would have, okay, wait. Imagine if the Virtual Boy would have worked.
We would have, yeah.
Okay, the next system would have been green. The next system would have been purple. Whatever. But innovation would have taken it that far because we would have been like, okay, the shit works, but this shit doesn't work.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So do you think Nintendo innovated so much, wanted to be so different, so quote unquote unique, that they were blindsided by their innovation and not look at things that actually work? Like, I mean, how long has the Xbox Live has been around? How long has PlayStation Network been around? And for fuck's sake, Nintendo had a system that had an online thing. Animal Crossing used voice chat. Why didn't they use that? They already had the technology. What were they thinking? Well, did they?
Wait. The funniest part about what you're saying is that the technology already existed.
It's been
we've been through this before. Not only just with Nintendo, because they've done it on they've had voice chats on things like this before. Yeah, they've done it, and it worked, and it still works. And I don't understand why they just didn't look any further than this. This is already a portable. The Switch is marketed as a portable and a console, but why couldn't they? I don't know. Then you look at Xbox Live. Okay, you look at PlayStation Network. You look at the voice chat thing that they've been using for, past a fucking decade. Let's not even go into the PC master race. They've been doing that shit ever since the fucking 90s.
Yep.
So it's not like the technology wasn't there at all. Nintendo just wanted to do something totally different that they could be like, okay, yeah, we thought of this and this is our way of doing things. But the thing about it is the shit didn't work. The funniest part about it is every single scenario that we pointed out as far as it could have been a problem ended up being a fucking problem.
You know what's interesting too is that we talked about this offline as well. So it's not fair for me to bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Do you think that maybe a certain company, a certain mobile company was holding Nintendo's feet to the fire saying that, okay, so you want to put Mario Run on the cell phone, and what was the other one? Mario Run and
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go. So do you think that they had some kind of contractual agreement?
No, because those things didn't have voice chat on them.
But I'm just saying, do you think there was some kind of contract that they had to go through a cellular device in order for them to get a voice?
No, because this was made by a third party, not Nintendo themselves.
No. The actual application and stuff like that is.
Oh yeah, the application
is Nintendo stuff. All right. The hardware and everything else is done by Hori. Let's hold that thought for just a second, because there's at the end when we go over like all the things that they've done wrong. The only thing that
a laundry list.
Well, no, seriously, of all the things that they've done wrong, the one thing that really concerns me is why they did it that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll get to that in just a little bit. All right. That question about innovation trying to be unique enough to go ahead and putting things together like this, I think that is insulting to think about. All right, before I landed my newest gig, I spent almost 2 years in mobile fucking development. All right, doing just mobile applications. Okay, so for requirements, platform requirements on how applications fucking work. All right. All of the issues, the fact that the application loses focus, it kills itself. It disconnects. It's no longer functional. When you go back to it after it's lost focus, you are no longer in the same session. You have to go ahead and fucking reconnect and hope that you got to go ahead and you're gonna get in the same game with everybody else. All right. The fact that it doesn't even allow for setting up lobbies right now. Okay, it's really fucking bare bones. Everything, all of the straight functionality for mobile applications that I feared would be an issue with this particular app is a fucking issue. All right. And if you want proof, like I said, just click on that fucking link to our previous video. We cover this in length. All right. You see the thing that gets me. All right. And the thing that gets me is that, all right, Nintendo themselves, they usually have a pretty good fucking track record for quality and stuff like that. Obviously, this is something that they don't know how to fucking deal with, okay? But guess what? If they're under like some sort of contractual obligation with DNA, their main mobile partner, those guys should fucking know. All right. The thing that really kills me is like, this is basic shit. This is real basic shit. All right, you're supposed to be able to multitask with your fucking phone. Guess what? If the application takes up the whole fucking screen and something changes it that takes priority away from it, you shouldn't be just completely booted out from whatever happens. It didn't even fucking account for whether or not your screen goes to sleep, because you don't want to fucking drain the battery after 20 minutes of fucking use.
One thing too is that I feel that the attention is the negative feedback is going to the wrong people. They're trying to blame Corey for this fuck up, and it's not Corey's fault. They were dealt a hand of cards, and they had to deal with that. They had to play that card. They had to play that hand, and that's why that little Splatoon 2 little piece that we talked about in our last video, why it was so convoluted, why it had wires coming out of fucking everywhere and which way. It's not Corey's fault. So don't put the blame on Corey. You need to put Hori. I'm sorry.
I have no idea who the fuck Corey is. You are blaming the wrong guy.
Okay, Hori.
There is some dude named Corey watching this wondering, what the fuck did I do?
That's neither here nor there. Let's get but okay. I said something wrong. Fuck, I don't care. Anyway, my point still stands, whether I pronounce the fucking company wrong or not.
God.
People are putting the blame on Hori for this shit, and that's bullshit. You need to put the blame dead on fucking Nintendo. Nintendo fucking screwed the pooch on this.
Yeah, they did.
Could you imagine if you were playing any one of your consoles?
I'd be pissed, dude.
And look, any console, I don't give a damn what era, what time, whatever. And if your basic function was interrupted, your game was interrupted.
I mean, that brings back the fucking modems where you can't be on.
No. I'm going to go further than that. That's like when remote controls, like if you're playing the game on your Nintendo and someone sits on the fucking remote and your channel changes.
It's just how ridiculous. I mean,
especially in a critical moment of your game. That would
it's worse. It's worse than that. Okay, because the thing is that if the channel changes, if you're quick enough, you can go ahead and change the channel back, and the game's still running. It's like some dumbass went ahead and kicked the fucking Nintendo.
Pause the game. You could pause.
Yeah, playing something like Ninja Guy.
No. Look, when I'm playing,
if you're in the middle of a jump.
When I'm playing Dragon Quest Heroes on this thing, and somebody calls me, it drops the fucking app. That's gone. The call takes priority.
No, because that's the thing. On on most things you can have. Okay.
Well, you could set the priority. I mean, but
you set the priorities, but still,
who wants to go through their settings and make the Nintendo app the priority?
But wait,
voice chat and you get
a call, you're still gonna fucking hear your phone ringing or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, generally speaking,
you're gonna still hear your text coming through.
And generally speaking, 90% of the apps that are out there, okay, if I'm watching YouTube on my phone, all right, and if I just have it playing in the backgrounds in my headphones and stuff like that, if somebody goes ahead and calls, I can go ahead and it pauses the video. It goes in the background. I can answer the call. I can talk for however long I want. And then when the call is over and I hit end call, the next thing that comes up is the YouTube video.
That you're on.
Yeah, that's. But you have to hit play again, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but for this whole thing, literally, like, it kills the fucking app, and you have to reconnect from the very fucking beginning.
Not when you're in a competition. I mean, wait, hang on. Let me. Whoa. Oh my fucking God! We just got done with Evo. Evo just finished. So
if that happens in your Evo match, you're disqualified.
Hear me. Look, you stole my thunder. God damn it. That was the thing. Could you imagine standing on Evo stage and you have to fucking connect to your fucking cell phone to have competition in Splatoon 2?
Don't try to do any speed runs. Don't try to do any record-breaking speed runs with this thing.
No, look. You're in competition. You're at the highest level. You're in the finals. You're at the highest level you could be. You're playing Splatoon 2. And some motherfucker or your grandma calls you on your cell phone who don't know what Evo is. And you hang up, you're instantly disqualified. I mean, Evo is so competition that if you can pause the game during the fight.
Imagine if you're about to beat one of these for the very first time and you get interrupted.
No. You don't understand. Look.
No. Wait, look at these games. Look at while I'm loading up. What if you're about to beat one of these for the very first time and you get interrupted? That would slurp.
No, I'm talking about Evo. I'm talking about you have $1 million at risk. you're going to win $1 million. You're about to beat this motherfucking team down, and all of a sudden, grandma calls you. You're instantly disqualified. Your whole team's disqualified because somebody fucking dropped the app. This it will not work at Evo or any e-games or esports. This is not. If Nintendo was trying to get into esports with that app,
well, yeah, it can still work. You just won't be able to communicate with your people.
No, you'll get disqualified, dude. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Even before we get to the what if scenarios and everything else, this is the one thing that bothers me the most. All right, and we said it in previous videos. We said it earlier in this video. Voice chat over video games is not a new fucking thing.
Yeah.
All right. Not only that, not only has it been around since 2001, but guess what? Nintendo themselves have integrated it, and it's been used in previous Nintendo fucking consoles. All right? So I don't... It's simple. It's elegant. It's straightforward, okay? And the thing is that, you know, going through the whole rigmarole of having to sit there and use an external app on top of a separate breakout box to connect two fucking devices and all of that. It's just, it doesn't make sense. Like I said, there is Bluetooth on this fucking thing. All right. There are USB ports on the fucking dock. If you don't have enough ports, you can go ahead and hook something up to it. All right. There's only two pieces of information or two saving graces here. All right. If anything. Okay. And that's number one. The app is software. It's not a hardware-based thing. All right.
Yeah.
So it can change. It can be fixed. All right. Somebody has to go back and do a shitload of retooling. All right, to do it.
But
all right?
At least it can be done.
At least it can be done. The second part is that guess what? Since we already know the hardware specifications and there are SDKs and everything else available to developers for this device, if a third-party developer and publisher wants to go ahead and create a game that uses the onboard hardware, the actual console itself, to go ahead and piggyback and do voice chat, they're free to do that. Okay? Now, the problem is that the problem with that is that guess what? That means development for that particular part of multiplayer is more expensive for you. All right? The upside to it is this. Guess what? In order to use voice chat, voice over IP, you can run that on a fucking toaster, all right? Which will bring up one thing that I will say. For all you dumb motherfuckers saying, oh, that just means the Nintendo Switch isn't powerful enough to go ahead and run this fucking thing. Fuck you, all right? Fuck you twice, sideways, up the ass with a red-hot fire poker, okay? Seriously, like I said, you can go ahead. You can run voice over IP on most smart appliances that show up on most showroom floors nowadays. All right, you don't need a lot to go ahead and do voice over IP.
No.
Okay.
Voice over Internet Protocol. Yeah, you don't need a lot to do that.
No, and that shit has been around since like the late 90s.
Right.
So you don't need a lot to go ahead and do that.
So wait, let's reel it back a little bit here. Let's throttle back. Do you think one of the reasons why Nintendo went this way is for the kiddies?
I was just about to talk about that because I could see that.
Because not everybody, I don't know. Now that kids or parents are giving their kids smartphones, so I mean I was
just about to say, and that's the problem here. You still gotta get a fucking smartphone in order for this shit to work.
Every time I hear any publisher sit there and say, oh, we do it this way because we want to protect our young fucking customers, I feel like gouging my eyes out with my fucking back scratcher. All right? It's the stupidest fucking cop-out excuse I've ever fucking heard, all right?
Yeah. Nintendo went out and said that?
No. At one point, they sat there and said that, you know, if they use a third-party application on external devices, it helps them control that one thing to help protect their user base without changing everything with the fucking Switch.
So basically, they fell short of nothing but say they went to the line, but they didn't outright and say it.
No, they said it. And when I heard it,
I'm talking about. They did not say
They didn't say kids, but they said protect their user base. All right, I know what that fucking means. Okay,
I mean they went the line but didn't say it.
And guess what? When I heard it, it pissed me the fuck off. The reason why Sony didn't decide to go ahead and jump in onto the cross-platform fucking play for shit like Minecraft and fucking and fucking what is it? Rocket League was because we want to go ahead and make sure that we protect our younger user base. It's like, bitch, really?
They just don't play with Microsoft and Nintendo.
Yeah, but that only goes so far to a point. Yep. Okay, only goes so far to a point. All right. But when you're sitting there saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make this as convoluted as fucking possible, and I'm going to include, I don't know, all of these peripherals in this setup that only an adult, all right, or somebody with, an adult level of technical know-how can go ahead and put together to get working correctly, all right? Obviously, I don't think that fucking applies in this particular instance. So,
you know what's interesting too is that Hori found the way to do it, right? Could you imagine the ways it didn't work that Hori tried that didn't work? How convoluted it was?
No, but wait a minute. Wait.
That is
something out.
No, wait. That is probably the simplest way that Hori can figure out how to do it. Because I'm just saying.
No. You want to know why? Because that means that this shit had to be tested.
Yeah.
You're telling me that during your test, none of these scenarios appeared. That's
nobody called the testers during that time.
What if I receive a phone call while we're playing? That question didn't come about. What about text messages? What will set priority? Whoa, when you finish your call, will the app come back on? You mean to tell me that through all your testing with this scenario,
how did it get past? How did it get off
this far?
Exactly. How did it get off the kitchen table? How did it get off of the drawing board? And then let's go back to that one question I had at the very beginning of the video.
Yeah. This is where we're going to cover that.
Right? This is a perfect segue into that. So do you think Nintendo innovated so much that they actually regressed?
I don't think that's the case. All right. The part that really disappoints me and gets me angry, really angry, is the fact that, like I said, these particular issues about connecting with calls, Messenger, your screen going to sleep because you've got power save mode on your fucking battery, on your phone and shit like that. All of that shit is basic mobile device QA, all right? And I've spent over a year and like almost 2 straight fucking years doing that, right? Being the head of a QA department where all I did was design fucking QA tests and testing programs for that sort of shit, all right? Guess what? I was reminded about that again while I'm at my new fucking job right now because I'm working with fucking cell phones again. I just happen to, that falls into my fucking wheelhouse, my experience, all right? But this is basic fucking, mobile device operations. Now, the thing about why Nintendo went ahead and did this, my theory, and I've said this before in other videos, and we've talked about this offline, and this is what Grey Mouse was bringing up, was that, they've got their partner, DNA, their mobile development partner, who's going to be developing the majority of their dedicated Nintendo mobile applications, whether it be iOS or Android or whatever, all right? I don't know how many applications they have on their contract, okay? I don't know how long their contract runs. Usually for most contracts for mobile developers, it's usually for XYZ number of applications, okay? I'm saying that strictly from experience, my own anecdotal experience, all right? So I think with this particular one, Nintendo's already announced that they've got like 2 or 3 more mobile applications that they have coming out that are going to be published by them, developed by DNA and everything else. They may just be going down the checklist, all right?
Yeah.
What sucks, though, and like I said, what's on the upside and also sucks at the same time is that it's completely up to third-party publishers to go ahead and, if they want to figure out another application or another solution to this, they can feel free to do that. All right. The downside to that is that you're telling the developer or that third-party publisher, I am adding another fucking responsibility and expense to your development because of this particular functionality that we don't have a ready structure built in. All right. Sony has that structure. It's part of the fucking machine. Microsoft has that structure. It's been part of their fucking machine since the turn of the goddamn century. Okay? Even the fucking Dreamcast, all right?
Yes, it did.
Used fucking voice chat. And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Over 90% of the Dreamcast owners didn't have a fucking broadband adapter. Mm-hmm. So, really, this, like I said, this technology and the stuff that's required to go ahead and make this work and to make it work consistently enough to actually have it usable while you're playing games has been around forever. And that's, the one part that befuddles me when it comes to this whole situation.
So one thing too is, has it been tested as in how much battery drain that app has on your cell phone? I mean, so are you going to have to actually have your adapter in there along with, while the app's running? Is it going to fucking drain your battery completely in a matter of 10, 15 minutes?
Here's the thing. When the app is on, the screen has to be on full time the whole time. And that's what drains your battery the most on your cell phones.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely.
Right. And I don't know if many people know this. You're not supposed to be operating your phone while it's charging.
Yeah,
that's not good for your fucking phone. You're not supposed to be recharging anything while you're operating it. That's why there are malfunctions with the DSs and things like that.
So if there's anybody out there that has that has the Hori app or has the Nintendo app, has the Hori setup, we love to hear. Give us feedback on what your experience is with it. What's your how quick your battery drain? Because I'm very curious about that. How quick does the batteries drain?
Shouting boom headshot, and your mom calls you, especially if they're already in the other room.
Yeah. or a text. Can a simple text come to dinner?
I was just about to say, that's the funny part about it. People in your house, your sister, your brothers could fuck with you just by calling.
Oh, I would do that. Just
it drops on notifications. It drops on notifications.
It would drop if I say come to dinner.
Or if you have the YouTube app on your phone and somebody puts up a brand new video and that push notification comes through on your phone, it will fucking drop.
That's a bad form, Nintendo. Bad fucking form. What the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah. And like I said, that's the one thing that, whenever I consider all the things, especially my recent professional experience, in mobile development and stuff like that, it just doesn't make any sense, especially considering that, guess what? All of the technology that's needed to go ahead and establish voice over IP is right there in the console already, and it's more than capable. Yeah, it's got a 3.5 millimeter jack on it. It's Bluetooth capable.
It has Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it has Wi-Fi. You have USB ports on the fucking dock.
USB, yeah.
Yeah,
you have all these other options.
Wi-Fi, Bluetooth.
I mean, if you didn't have
USB, you have all these other options.
Yeah, if you didn't have a device that was readily available and you had to come up with a third-party accessory, you could have hooked it up straight to the fucking dock.
Nintendo have their own app to download to the fucking Switch itself.
Oh, wait. You know what? You brought up a good thing, Reverend. Maybe this app is a intermediate type of thing. Maybe Nintendo just needed to get this out. I'm not trying to make an excuse for Nintendo, but maybe they're trying to get this out because of the release date of Splatoon 2. So maybe like when Nintendo Network gets really up and running in January, February of next year, or whenever it may be, maybe they will actually have an onboard or on station or a top box or something that can actually handle voice chat. This was just like, we have a problem, we need to throw a solution at it. This is what we came up with.
That That doesn't make sense.
No,
Because the thing is that I'm just saying from developers' point of view, the only upside on this is guess what? They can sit there, they can ban people off of online play without banning consoles. That's the only upside to Nintendo that exists.
Think about that. You could ban
All
cell
right. Yeah, you could ban cell phones without banning the actual fucking
You're
console.
absolutely
All right.
right. Yeah, I didn't. Even think about that.
That's the only upside I can think of. Really, that's it.
I really feel like Nintendo was throwing shit against the wall and saw what stuck, and that just so happened to stick. That's what it seemed like.
You know, there's probably a dozen different scenarios of what they were thinking about. You know, a dozen different things that probably came to mind, especially the CEOs who are, you know, brainstorming all of this. What we really want to know, folks, is what did you think Nintendo was thinking about this? Okay, what are your thoughts about the app? All right, yes, I know virtually on a universal level, people think that's crap, and from what I've seen, I don't even have to fucking experience myself to consider it that way. All right.
Crap.
I want to see this actually performing.
Yeah. But, you know, we really want to know what your thoughts are on it. Maybe there's something that we haven't thought about. You know, feel free to tell us about it by leaving a comment below. While you're at it, go ahead and mash on that like button. And if you really like what we do, especially with our videos and all the things that we cover, and you want to stick around, I encourage you to go ahead and hit subscribe. With that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up our thoughts on the debacle official. That is the Nintendo voice chat app that exists as it is right now. At this moment in time, right here, I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
And I'm Gray Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and voice chat with gaming. Yeah, common sense, logic, that just went.
That don't exist in this thing.
Oh, no. Closing credits.
It's not like this shit isn't like, I don't know, 16 fucking years old. You know, give it 2 more years, it can enlist in the fucking military. Yeah, Nintendo has been around for that fucking long. All right, you can have this voice fucking technology stand on the front line with a goddamn rifle in his hand. You realize that, Nintendo?
This is my rifle. This is my gun.
This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is for fun, right?